Okay, hello again everyone. Welcome back to Shay's Hobby Doc Bay. This is Tuesday. It is October the 16th, 2018. It's 1:49 p.m. right now. Okay, this is another booktube time video. I read some more in my Agatha Christie book last night. The Clocks. Sorry. Still not very far in. I only read one chapter last night. I stay up so late watching videos and doing things online and with crafting and stuff like that, that by the time I'm ready to take my medicine to go to sleep, I'm already tired and sleepy. I just need that extra little boost of the sleep medicine to really help me to lay down and close my eyes and go up to sleep. That's why I read while that's taking hold. So I only managed one chapter, and yeah, they're short chapters, 5 pages long. What I call 5 pages. That would really be 10 pages. Because the way I call it, so this is where I'm at right now. This is my bookmark I'm using, and I am on chapter 11. And I count this chapter as being, let me see if I can do this, 1. But in reality, it's 2. So my mama says 1, 2. She laughs at me about this, but I call it 1. That's 1 piece of paper, y'all. 1 page. 2. 3. 4. And I even count this as 1, even though it's a very little bit of writing on there, okay? 5. That's 5 pages long chapter. But in reality, I guess it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, with a little bit over, is how you would really say it. I don't know, but I just count the pages and say it's 5 pages long. So that's where I'm at. The number of the page is 83. I'm not sure if I told y'all anything about this book yet. Seems like I have. You know, like when I first started it in the very beginning a little bit. There was this guy walking down the sidewalk, and this girl comes running out of the house. This is how it got started. And she like collides into him, and she's screaming. So, you know, he catches her and he calms her down and gets her quiet enough that he asks her, "What's wrong? What's going on?" So she points to the house she ran out of, and she says, "In there." I can't remember now just how she said, "Dead," or "on the floor dead," and she's about to trample all on him, or something like that. So he still was kind of confused, and he didn't understand. So he sits her down and leans her against the fence and gets her to really explain more. So he says, "I'm gonna go in and check it out. You stay right here." So he goes in the house. And when he walks in, there is a lady sitting in a chair. And that's all he sees. He don't see a dead body, but it's because it's hid from his view. But he speaks to the lady. Or no, he just walks in and sees the lady. And at first he don't say nothing. And I think the lady says, "Who's there?" She sensed. See, she's blind. She's an old lady and she's blind. And she sensed he was there, that someone was there. So she said, "Who's there?" And so he realizes the way she's looking at him, she's not looking directly at him, just kind of towards his area. And he realizes she's blind. So, but he talks to her, he explains the young lady come running out of the house screaming and said something about a dead body and somebody was walking on him. And he needed to come check it out. So she said, "Over there behind the desk." So he walks around the desk, and there lays the dead body. It's a man. And I think he was stabbed with a knife. I can't remember now. See? Anyway, so the lady, the blind lady, it's her house. That's where she lives. And she asked him where the girl is, and he told her that he left her out sitting, leaning against the fence. The lady tells him, "You better bring her in." She says, "Call the police. There's a phone down the road around the corner." You know, it was back in the day when they didn't have house phones. She don't have a house phone, so she she had, they have to go to the payphone out in the street, kind of around the corner close to their house. But anyway, so he goes out and gets the girl and brings her in and gets her settled. The lady has went in the kitchen and is making tea. And then he goes and calls the cops. Well, it just so happens that the inspector is his friend, and he was actually supposed to soon go see his friend, but his friend was telling him, when he called, I didn't expect you to now, this is early. But he told him, he needed someone there, that he's at a house and there's a dead body. So his friend and the other cops come, and they start investigating. And so then when he finally gets a chance to talk to his friend, the inspector that is, he asked him what he was there so early for. So he explains to him that he's trying to find somebody. I don't really understand the deal about that guy that was walking, the inspector's friend, and who he was trying to find and why. See, a lot of things I read I don't comprehend all, and I just let it go. I don't worry about it. It don't bother me, really. I feel like it's not really a part or a main part of the mystery anyway, and in the end it may tie up a little bit, and I may understand a little bit of it and not all, and that's okay with me. Anyway, so I don't understand all of that situation. So, but anyway, but they start their investigation. So the inspector lets his friend go with him, since he's the one that found the guy. And actually the house, the reason he was walking up and down that road, he was looking for a certain number of a house to find this certain guy he was looking for. And he couldn't find the number. And the reason is, the way I'm understanding it, the road, well, actually, I'm probably got it all wrong, but this is how the book is making my mind picture it, okay? So you're walking down a road and there's houses on both sides. And they're numbered, of course. Okay, but the number he's looking for is not in this row of houses. It's not on the other side. Its backyard is backed up to this house. Well, the corner of it, kind of. So it's the same road, but yet it's over here on this back side. So somehow the road curves around and it's the same named road. I'm not really understanding all that. And that's why he couldn't find it. So when he explained that to the inspector explained to him how it was that it was on the other side, the garden backed up to it. So anyway, they interviewed the blind lady. They interviewed the young girl that had ran out screaming. So she works at a place that types up stuff, I think. And what it was, the reason she had to go there was her boss, they had got a call in. Someone on this road at this house, which was an old lady, Miss Pepmarsh is her name, needed someone to come and type something for her. So the boss sent this young girl to go to her house to do the job. So that's why the girl had went there. Alright? Her boss had told her also that this Miss Pepmarsh had told her that she was gone to town, that if she had not gotten back when she got there, if no one answered the door, that the door would be unlocked to go on in and go into the, I think it was the right side, it might have been the left side, the sitting room, the lounge room, whatever they call it, parlor, I think, and sit there and wait for her. She would be in shortly. So when the girl got there, that's what had happened. She knocked on the door, nobody answered, so she opened and went on in, and she went into that room. Well, when she first went in, she was looking around, and she had noticed 4 clocks. Well, actually there is in total 6 clocks, but 4 of them is all like set for a certain time, and I don't know if they were stopped, like they were dead. I can't remember that part of it. But the other 2 were okay. One's a grandfather clock and one is something else, I can't remember. But all these other 4 was like different kinds of clocks, and they were all, it's just, I still don't understand that part too, because if you have clocks in your home, ain't they all supposed to be set at the same time? But they're making it sound like that they shouldn't be, that it's odd that they're set at the same time. Maybe it's because they were all in this one room together. Why so many clocks? Why not, one clock to a room, I don't know, I don't understand it. But anyway, so she notices the clocks, but then she also walks around and she finds the dead body. And then about that time, the old lady comes in. And, you know, she was told the old lady was blind, but when the lady walks in, she senses someone's there, so she says, "Who's there?" So the girl had told her, you know, that she was from there, that she was told to come here, that she needed something typed. But then, the lady starts to go around the desk, and the girl panics and screams, "You're gonna step on him!" And then, you know, that's when she runs out of the house screaming. So, so they had interviewed her. So then they go to her job and interview her boss to make sure all is going together. She did get the call. She did tell her to go there and do that. But come to find out, the blind lady did not call and ask for anyone to come to her house and type anything for her. Okay? And even though she's blind, she knows her house well inside. She can get around in it real good. She goes out and she walks to town, and I don't think she even uses a cane. She walks to town, she gets groceries, she comes back to her house with it, and all this kind of stuff. And she's not been blind all of her life. She just kind of, you know, got old, got something wrong with her eyes, and went blind. But she knows all this. But she lives there by herself. Her husband's done, dead and gone, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so the inspector and his friend is, you know, going to everybody's house and interviewing everybody. So they end up going, because they want to get, like they do all the neighbors too, investigate. So, you know, of course on each side and across the road and all. But then they got to go behind the house, the gardens that are backed up to that one, and they're interviewing those back there. So one of the ladies is a cat lady for sure. She has a house full of cats. And I mean, she babies them, she cooks food for them and all this kind of stuff, and her house is kind of like cluttered with cat stuff and, you know, cat hair everywhere and anyway. So then the number, I think it was 19 that his friend was looking for, its corner garden is touching the corner garden of the house where they found the dead body. Oh, and on the dead body there was a card in, and it had a name, but they're finding out there is no such, when they ran it through the system and all, there is no such person as that name. And he, you know, it had said he was an insurance guy. So even the name of the insurance company, they investigated about that. There's no such insurance company and all this kind of stuff. But they went in and interviewed the guy that lived in 19. But then when they got through interviewing him and got back in the car, the inspector asked his friend, "What do you think about him?" Because that was supposed to be the guy that he was looking for. But he's thinking it's not. He says, "No, that's not who I'm looking for." Like I said, I still don't understand that situation. And, let's see. I gotta remember. Y'all give me a minute. I'm reading the last part of the chapter last night that I read and ended, so I can kind of update myself. Okay, so now they have went, this is one of the houses that was behind, okay? So there's this lady, and she's got a couple of young boys. And it sounds like, according to this, they go off to school during school time, but yet it's not like every morning go to school and come home in the evening. It's like they're gone to school somewhere. And then when there's like a fall break, I think it was, they come home for a few days. But they're rowdy boys. They won't mind and listen to the mama. The mama don't know how to, like, you know, discipline, put her foot down and make them listen. And so they're rowdy, and they're playing, and they're always making a mess and breaking stuff, and she's having to clean up behind them and stuff like this. And then they play out in the yard, and they've got toys scattered all in their yard and stuff like that. And their dad is gone. Like, he works somewhere. I don't understand or know where he goes off for a while, and then he'll come back home. But he's gone right now at this time. So they had been rowdy. They broke a piece of china. She was cleaning that up, and then the cops come up to interview her. Because, you know, she's a house behind that house. And the neighborhood all knows about it now, you know, the murder and all. And so the cops interview her. She couldn't help them, didn't know the picture, because they had got a picture of the dead guy, and they're showing it all around. And nobody knows him, and don't recognize the name, and all that kind of stuff. And so then they ask, well, what it is, when they first come in to interview her, the boys had been outside playing. They're the ones that run in and told their ma the cops were there. And they wanted to stand there and listen to the conversation of the cops asking ma the questions. And ma was telling them to go out, and they kept saying, no, we're not going to go out. We're going to stand here. We want to listen. And the cop, the inspector, he gets up, walks to the front door, and he opens the door, and he points, and he looks at the boys, and he says, out. And they go out. And the mama even looked at him, and she said, now look at there. Why can't I do that? I thought that was so funny. So anyway, they go out. So like I said, then the cop interviews the lady. Okay, so then they ask her, you know, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk to the boys. Go out in the backyard and talk to the boys, let them show me the garden, stuff like that. Might be that when they're out there playing, they might have seen something, you know. So she said sure, so they go out and talk to them. And they show them like there's a hole in the fence. They can climb up through to get into her yard, and then they can go through to get to another yard. The lady with the cats, that's how they get to the ladies, and they terrify the cats and pester them, and they get up in a tree and they point a water hose and spray it on the cats and all this kind of stuff when they're let out in the yard and stuff. And so, you know, being rowdy, playful boys, like the oldest one's 11 years old. I don't know how old the youngest one is. It didn't really say, but it said the oldest one was 11. But anyway, so then they also talk about, like, they have treasure, they find things and they collect it up. So the cops asked about seeing it. So, excuse me, the oldest boy sent the youngest boy in to get it. He comes out with it. It's wrapped up in a kerchief. So the cop opens it up, and it's just a bunch of little, like, there's some broke glass. There's some other kind of little, maybe a coin. There's all kind of things, you know, like little boys would collect and keep. And so, and the oldest boy was, you know, telling them, we just basically pretend. It really ain't nothing much, you know, about it being treasure and stuff. So anyway, the cop, the inspector, picks out the piece of glass, and he tells the boy, I'll take this, because it might just be something that could help us out. So the boy says, okay. But then the other guy, the cop's friend, was looking at the coin, I think it was, and it's something about, I'm thinking, the way I understood it, that he thinks it has something to do with the guy that he was trying to find. I don't know. It's just how it made me think. So he picks it up and he says, we'll take this also because it might be something too. So, and that's where it ended. The last little paragraph here says, see, Colin is the guy's name, the friend. Says, no, said Colin, it's not English. He looked across at Hardcastle. Hardcastle is the inspector. We might perhaps take this too, he suggested. Don't say a word about this to anyone, said Hardcastle, in a conspiratorial fashion. The boys promised delightedly that they wouldn't. And that was the end of that chapter. So that's what I'm up to in this book and what's going on. And I have no earthly idea about the mystery, who the man was, why he's killed, who killed him, and, you know, about the clocks, what that has to do with it, and just all this stuff. But it's quite interesting and fun, and has some funny things in it, you know. So now, as I read each night, like tonight when I go to bed, I'm going to read some. I may just get one more chapter read. I may get a few, who knows, or a couple. If I just get one chapter read, if it's not anything much to tell y'all about, I'll wait a few days to get a little bit of something more exciting or to tell y'all about, and then I'll make another video to update y'all on it. And that's how I want to do, so I'm doing this one. And like I said, the other book, The Paper Love, is a documentary thing. I'm just going to kind of slowly read on it, and probably at the end update y'all on something, unless I get something real exciting about it. And right now I'm not reading the library book for this month. I'll wait till the next month to do that. So I'm going to go back and forth with y'all, physical and my phone book like this, reading and telling y'all about the story. That's what and how I want to do this. Alright, we're up at 19 minutes and 34 seconds, so I'm going to let y'all go. I am out of here until next time. I'm done. I'm gone. Toodaloo.